Oh, easy.
Hello and welcome back to the Road to 200 kg Deadlift, episode number 6, and from the title, volume. This week is all about volume. In total, there are 11 deadlift sets. 11. That's some people's monthly sets of deadlift. This is just 1 week. So the first set we're doing is 120 by 3. And I remember this was on a Tuesday and this was at the back end of a 12-hour shift. And these sets, the first one felt absolutely fine. It felt really good. The weight felt light as well, which is always a good sign. Again, it was quite easy, I thought. The first set went pretty well. Obviously, no knee cave, which is good. No lower back pain or anything. Thought my setup was good, even though it looks slightly strange here. And then on the second set as well, the bar is moving a bit, so the bar's not entirely straight from my starting positioning, which on a higher weight can throw you off a bit as well. And I believe it got like this is because I think I was just pushing around the bar for about 40 minutes, making sure it's straight. It's probably the hardest thing on the deadlift, is to keep the bar straight for when you're doing your starting positioning, because if it moves around, etc., it throws you off a bit. Like I said, your starting position can go from a really good one to a not very viable one as well. But because it's only 120 kg, I get away with it. If it's like, let's say 180 or a max, I might not get away with it. I might be not lift that weight purely because of the bar moving and my starting positioning. And from the side view, when I was watching it back now as well, my hips rise more, but I don't feel as much in my lower back as the previous times as well. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes in the next few weeks if I need to adjust that position again, because it feels good, even though it doesn't look good as well. I understand that everyone's deadlift looks different from each other's because of different leverages, body types, the size of the bone, stuff like that. So the first 3 sets is 120 for 3, working about 80% of my 1 rep max. And then my program is 3 back off sets. So set 4, which is 97.5 times 5. This felt really, really light as well. Like, as you can see, how the speed of how quick the reps are. Like it didn't feel heavy at all, even on like set 5 even as well. So I've just done 3 sets of 80%, which felt okay, felt good. 4th set felt really light. I obviously, because it is lighter weight, it's 22.5 kg. But whenever I've done back off sets in the past, and you may have experienced the same thing, even if it's just a few kilos, it feels so much lighter. Maybe that's like a mental and psychological thing where like, oh, this is so much heavier than this, and it plays out in your mind, and it's only like, what, a few kilos. Obviously in this, it's over 20 kg, so you're going to feel a difference. But again, this just felt really easy, just working on rep work, because that's what you do to build up your strength and your numbers, is just keep doing rep work, not just maxing out every week, which is a mistake I used to do as well. So I'm very grateful on this program. There's a lot of rep work, even though when I looked at it for this week, it was 3 by 3, which is fine. It was very low volume, and then there's 3 sets of 5 afterwards as well. It's like, but it's lighter weight, and like I said, just to build up my form, make sure I'm comfortable with the lift as well. Any little tweaks can be adjusted now rather than later, but again, it just felt light. The first 3 sets were good, and then the next 3 back-off sets were brilliant as well. Really enjoyed this session, even though it was after a 12-hour shift. Again, I just really looked forward to deadlifting as well. It's probably my favourite lift. It changes around from time to time, but I think because I have longer arms, it's a bit easier for me than other lifts. I just find it as my go-to lift. And now moving on to the second day of deadlifting. This is on a Thursday now, and this is after squats, power squats, and quite a lot of benching. It's 2 sets of 5 of 100, so 2 plates deadlift. Felt easy again as well. The only thing with this, though, we were doing the warm-ups, that I went from immediately 60 to 100, and when I was pulling 100, it felt quite heavy in the first rep, and then obviously my body adjusted to it, because there's 40 kg difference. That's quite a lot as well. And also at the end of this, my coach was saying to me to keep my chest forward and let the bar sit into my hands a bit more, so it feels heavy in the hands before lifting as well. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. I'm glad that we're doing it now as well. We're not doing like major changes, just little things to point out, because apart from that, my form looks pretty good. It feels good as well, just making that adjustments. As you can see at the end, he's telling me what to do. Moving on to the next day, this is Friday, and I made a cock up. On the Thursday, I had an espresso before my training day, well, Thursday even. I thought, oh, I'll have an espresso. When I get home, I'll have some magnesium and I'll send me to sleep. For Friday, bad idea, I didn't sleep till about 1, so I got about 4 or 5 hours sleep on the Friday session doing the pause deadlifts. And it just felt a bit strange. I don't know what it was, because in previous weeks, pause deadlifts have been fine. But it just didn't look right, didn't feel right as well. Obviously, last week was 115 for 5, I believe, or something. And then this week's 120 for 4. The first 2 reps of the first set went pretty good, and then the other 2 were a bit slow, a bit taxing. I think it just purely is to do with the lack of sleep I had, or very little sleep, the previous night before. Obviously, that can play a huge role in this as well, because the previous day, I did feel like quite fatigued going into it as well. Not like dead fatigued, that, oh, this is terrible. But I felt quite fatigued compared to like the other times where I've trained, but this is like the Friday, it's the last day of training. And on the third set, we used a belt to see what that felt like. The belt made absolutely no difference. It became loose immediately, which kind of threw me off. So this set wasn't my greatest set in the world. Again, the pause deadlifts weren't as impressive as other weeks. I even like felt it like cat backing almost. I didn't feel right. But then on the fourth set, so when everything started to feel a lot better as well. As you can see, this is probably my best set out of them 4, and it is like the last set as well, which is a bit unusual. Normally the first set, second set, but plenty of volume this week as well. So 11 sets in total of deadlifts. Again, just getting used to it, managing my fatigue as well. I'm recording this on a Saturday, and I feel a bit fatigued still, but I've got 2 days of rest, so I'm ready to go for next week and then for the next episode. So thanks for watching episode number 6 of the Road to 200 kg Deadlift. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode. See you later.